Okay, so today, I'm super excited just for today. Today is Saturday, March 8th, I think, something like that. I don't know, I'm not good with dates. But yeah, today I'm meeting up with a friend. His name's Christian, and he is a fellow filmmaker like I am. We're just gonna go to lunch today and talk about some filmmaking, and then I'm going to go help some friends clean up an event they had. But yeah, it definitely feels really good to get back to vlogging. It's been a very long time. I'm super excited to actually vlog again. And today, it's gonna be a really, really good vlog, I think. I was planning about it yesterday. I was thinking like what to do and how to like plan some of these shots out, and I'm really excited to see how it turns out. So let me guys know in the comments if you guys like it, don't like it. If you guys didn't like it, what can I add to them? But now let's get some B-roll before I actually go meet with Christian. And be rolling. Okay, so I'm back from Burger King from eating with Christian. This is Christian. He's one of my friends for Campus Life, so I'm actually wearing a Campus Life shirt today.
Nice shirt. I like that. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, so I actually have a few questions I want to ask him because he's a filmmaker. Like I was saying earlier, he's probably a better filmmaker than I am. But I have some questions to ask him, and they're pretty simple questions, but there's some stuff I just struggle with.
Sure, what you got?
So how do you turn an idea into a story? So like for example, I'm out filming for like a day and I don't exactly have a topic to actually talk about, and I'm just going out and filming. How do you find a certain point in your video or film to turn it into the actual story for that film? If that makes sense.
No, for sure. It's just a pretty massive question. I mean, that's kind of like our job as filmmakers a lot of the time when, especially when doing freelance, a lot of the time individuals come to you and say, I have this idea for it, and it's figuring out what that looks like for them and actually transitioning it into film. And it's definitely an art, because I mean, as far as like figuring out how that idea translates in your own mind,
yeah, is
hard enough, but then figuring out like, okay, well I have an idea, now you bring my idea to life, that's a whole nother ballgame. I think it's a lot about visualization, kind of like figuring out, playing it through in your mind, and then trial and error. It's a lot of going out shooting. There's a saying that a story is, or a movie is told 3 times. One by the writer, one during production, and once like editing. Mm-hmm. Do you get what I mean by that?
Yeah, I do.
So, but for you as like an independent filmmaker, someone getting started, I think it's a lot about coming up with a concept, pointing the camera, and just filming things that you think is going to lead to it, and then piecing it together so it kind of matches up with what was originally in your mind.
Solid. I think that's we all have ideas. I mean, I have this document in my phone even. It has a lot of ideas, and
Sure.
I have like bullet points and stuff I want to talk about. Which those are really easy to dig stories to film when you have like a topic and you're like, I want to talk about this first, this second, and I'm gonna end with this. Like
Sure.
that's pretty easy. But if you're like, even like for this, like yesterday, I was filming, before I filmed this video, I was like, so I'm going with Christian, I'm gonna go help clean up at my church. What do I want to be most story? I'm gonna make this part the actual title. Usually.
Well, I'm honored.
Sit down interview with a filmmaker. Yeah, my next question is, what do you use to edit? I know you told me this earlier, but can you tell me what you use to edit and
Right.
why you choose that to edit?
So I started editing way back when on Windows Movie Maker 98. So that was my first like non-linear editing program. Way back when, even before that, I started with a small stick-figure animation program called Pivot. And slowly throughout the years, by taking classes in high school and through college, started using the Adobe Creative Suite. So everything I'm doing now professionally is through Adobe Premiere, Adobe After Effects, Photoshop, Illustrator, the complete Adobe suite. But for me personally, it's less about the tool and more about how you use them. I think that even nowadays, a lot of like the open source software, like the free version of DaVinci Resolve, even stuff like WeVideo nowadays, is getting so good that it's less about the tool and more about the person using it.
Yeah, like I even use Final Cut Pro, and that's just I've used the trial before on my mom's computer,
Right.
and then I got an iPad, which I started using this software called LumaFusion. It's like the advanced video editor for like
Right.
mobile devices or whatever, and you can color grade, and you have like more than one like section of a timeline, which I use that, and right now I'm even using the trial for Final Cut Pro, but that's just my preference. Like Adobe is pretty expensive, and their trial is 7 days, when
Right.
Final Cut Pro is 30. So that's one of the reasons also why I use that one.
No, I definitely remember the days of kind of like farming the free trials, like making a new email and registering again, just because like starting out, being in middle school, high school, not having any kind of budget for that.
Yep.
And I think that even just getting familiar with like the trial versions of that, like you're on your way already, man.
One of the questions I have is, how do you make any film better? So if like even right now, like this, I know most of it's probably going to be in post, but like if you could like use a sequence, so if you're going to a gas station, instead of just like holding it saying, I'm going to a gas station, I'm filling my tank, I'm
Right.
in the car, I'm going home. Like how do you make, in that situation, how do you make it better?
Man, there's so many different aspects that go in to making like a piece of video good, and even the definition of good is so different from person to person. So I think it's important to know your audience, know who's watching, what is their attention span, because so often nowadays, like, people watch the first 5 seconds of something and decide if they're going to finish it or not. So definitely keeping it short and sweet. There's some other filmmakers that I really enjoy watching, and they said something that stuck with me, and it's that for most video, the video should be shorter than the time it takes you to explain what's happening in the video. So if you're saying, I am filling up my car with gas, that probably took me about 3 seconds to say. So you don't want to have any more than 3 seconds of you filling up your car with gas. And even then, a big portion of it is video being such a visual medium, right? Like, you have the mix of audio and video, but so often you can show without telling. Like, I can say, I'm gonna go turn on a light, but I can also show a 1.5-second clip of me just clicking on the light, and that's gonna serve the purpose. It's gonna keep it moving, keep the pace going, and just keeping it brief.
Sweet. Like my first go-to is when I'm like doing that stuff is like B-roll, like secondary shots. Like, obviously, like even this morning in my video you'll see later, is that I was talking about what I'm gonna do, and then I had a shot of my camera bag by itself, and then another shot of me grabbing my handle of my camera bag and starting to walk, and then I cover the camera within the bag, and then the next shot is me uncovering it, and it's like a solid like walk through the shot, and then I have me going over the door to unlock my door, and I have a shot of like up close shot of me actually turning the knob, and then I open the door, and then I'm with you.
Right.
So I think that also really does help a lot, instead of just saying, oh, I'm gonna open the door and leave, because you see yourself open, just leave.
Right.
And then like you cut. That's what I used to do, and it looks like garbage.
Well, I mean, even then, I think montage nowadays is really strong. I think that you need to also keep in mind that, like, if you're talking to the camera and like you have your audio line, you're very easily able to just knock out the footage of you talking. So maybe you start with like a video clip of you saying like, hey, what's up guys, this is Jack, today we're gonna be going to sit down with Christian, and then have your like voice line continue to go, so you're still talking, but now you're showing you leaving and getting ready.
So I'm pretty sure
You know
it's
what I
called
mean
like
by
an L cut.
Yeah, L cut, J cut, depending on those types of things.
Yeah, I've wanted to use those. I'm probably gonna use those eventually in the future, but yeah, I know those two.
It's definitely something getting used to, knowing that, especially with non-linear editing software nowadays, it's less about taking this video, then this video, then this video, and more so about layering video. So you have like your base clip, here's your B-roll on top of it, and how it stacks up. And so you kind of see, you're telling the story, but you're also showing it at the same time. I think it's going to help you as a filmmaker and helps create some really strong sequence.
So last but not least, I have how do you brainstorm good ideas? So like me, I make a video every single week, and when Friday comes around, Thursday, Friday, I think to myself, okay, I need to find a topic to vlog about in order to keep that schedule of once a week. And like last night, I was like, well, I'm going with Christian, and I was like, what else could I do then? And I decided to actually get some points to talk about that I have questions about. I know that you probably could answer.
Sure.
So how do you brainstorm good ideas?
I think a lot, even from like a filmmaker, is just being a good storyteller. I think we live in a world where stories are all around us. We just have to kind of be focused on that basically all the time. Like even walking along, going to Burger King, there was a lot of different people there, different backgrounds that they come from, different stories they have. Just keeping that in mind as you're going through life, I think is the best way to generate ideas, is to look through things as if you're looking through a camera lens already. And I think that's going to be a great way to just consistently generate ideas and, you know, be able to have things to continue to vlog about and talk about in the future.
Solid. That concludes my interview with Christian the filmmaker. Okay guys, so I'm gonna end the video right here. That interview is a little long, so I'm not gonna actually shoot any of the cleanup. So I'm just gonna call it good here. Say goodbye to Christian.
See you there, guys.
Meet up later sometime, make another video. I'll see you all next video. Peace.